The next area I'm going to cover is how you can create photorealistic renderings within Deep Exploration. I'll go to my rendering tab at the top here so I have access to all the relevant toolbars. Now if I hide this panel down in the front of the trailer, we can see there are lots of internal components which wouldn't be seen in a rendering and will use up valuable processing power when creating renderings. There is a specific tool to remove internal components. However, in the case of this trailer, there are lots of vents and gaps in the side as you can see here, so that specific tool is not going to be suitable. Instead, we can remove components that are smaller than a specific size. So within the tool setting here, we can adjust the tolerance of what is classed as a small component. And in the information tab, we can see that there are currently over 2,000 parts. And now after selecting the Remove Small Components tool, we can see that has been reduced to just over 500 parts. Now I'm also going to remove the container for this rendering, so we can see a bit more detail of the bed of the trailer. I've also applied materials to a lot of the components, however some still need to be done. Deep Exploration comes with a library of high dynamic range materials that you can see here, and to apply these materials it's as simple as dragging and dropping them onto the components. So this area down by the wheels still needs some materials added. We can add a dull metal for the wheels, and maybe a matte for the wheel guards, and also a rubber for the tyres. We can add some painted metal materials and perhaps a reflective metal for the tank in the middle. So once that's done, we can change the rendering engine used in the viewport. This menu in the bottom corner shows the ones available, and I'm going to change to the High Dynamic Range Real-Time Driver. High Dynamic Range is basically a set of techniques which allows the computer to more accurately calculate light definition, and it's this light definition that ultimately is going to give our images photorealistic quality. As soon as that's activated, you can see the difference on the screen. The materials straight away seem a lot more realistic than before. Now with the High Dynamic Range Renderer comes something called environment maps. The environment maps are basically 360-degree high definition images with light built into those images. They give you the opportunity to put your product into an environment and then capture your rendering. So here we can see some examples. A highway here, and you can see how the lighting changes to more of a sunlight or natural look. And here the front of a hotel. There's a library of these environment maps which comes with Deep Exploration. But for this rendering we'll choose one of the many studio environments that's available. So I'll just orientate the trailer into a position we want for the rendering, like so. Then we can take a quick look at the rendering properties. Here you can see all the different preset sizes you can choose, and of course you can specify things like resolution and the overall quality. Once those are set, then I just select the rendering icon. So now the trailer is being rendered. This will take a couple of seconds to actually go through the rendering process. I've left this on a fairly low image size and resolution and picked a draft quality so that it renders quite quickly. But later on I'll show you some images of this trailer where the settings and resolution were ramped right up. So that's our final image there, and for a quick draft image it's really of a very good quality. You can see the reflection in the paint at the front, and the mirror finished metals are of a particularly good standard. And it's these materials that are notoriously difficult to render in other rendering packages. A further thing we can do is use any digital image as a background. This is very good if you want to visualize your product in the natural environment in which it might be used. So I have a simple JPEG image of a car park here. I'm just going to drop that image into the scene as a backplate, and I've already used that highway environment map to get the lighting correct, to give it its natural lighting. And I'll just simply select this image in the scene tree and use the scaling tool just to scale it up. And then I can just move this trailer again into the correct position. And then just set that rendering going. Now again, this is going to take a few seconds to render, but these renderings are so quick and simple to do, and they can be used for all sorts of different purposes, such as marketing material, for websites and promotional material, and for designers and engineers to get a better idea of what a product looks like in its natural environment. Here we can see the final rendering. As you can see from the shadows underneath and the paint reflections on the top there, it really is a great high quality photorealistic image. Now I have some examples here of the trailer where the rendering settings have been ramped right up, and each of these took approximately 10 or 15 minutes to render. So here are some examples of the trailer in the studio environment. And you can tell by again some of the paintwork and the mirror finish hydraulics that these really are very high quality images. Then you can see some more here in more lifelike environments. This is the hotel environment map which we looked at earlier on. And again here in a night scene. And then finally this one in the car park, which uses that simple JPEG as the backplate. So that brings this demonstration to an end. I hope this has given you a good insight into the capabilities of Deep Exploration 6.0 and shown you some of the great results you can get from this system and just how easy it is to use.